algebra, ratio and proportion. This will be the part 3 of our revision in algebra. Okay. For those who cannot watch yet, you can still go back to this video. Okay. I'll be only answering 7 questions about ratio and proportion this time. Let's move on to the first question on ratio and proportion. So what is the first question all about? The first question about ratio and proportion is this. The time t for a pendulum to swing varies directly as the square root of its length. Sorry, I'll turn on the music. Okay. So again, I repeat. Question number 1 says, the time, which is represented by the variable t, for a pendulum to swing varies directly as the square root of its length, L. When L is equal to 9, t is equal to 6. Find the formula for t in terms of L that satisfies the first statement a while ago. Okay? So it says, t varies directly. When you say directly, okay, there are only 2 things, okay, that you need to remember for ratio and proportion. When it varies directly, okay, when it varies directly, a certain variable, let's say y, okay, varies directly, okay, this is the symbol, to, sorry, it becomes infinity. Okay. You will be using the idea that it varies directly, okay, to the let's say x. If u varies directly, then it will become y equals kx. Okay. If it varies indirectly or varies inversely, sorry. Okay, if it varies inversely, okay, it is represented by y varies inversely. It will become represented by this. And if you change this one, it will become y, sorry, should be 1 over x only. Okay, 1 over x. Okay, is equivalent now to k over x. Okay, now since you have a formula, since you have the statement t varies directly as the square root of the L, so it will become t varies directly as the square root of the L. Therefore, t is equal now to k times square root of L. And you know that L is 9. When L is 9, t is 6. It will become 6 is equivalent to k square root of 9. Why do we need to do this? Because I want to find out what is the value of the k. Okay? So that I can find the formula for t. Remember, t is equivalent to k times square root of L. And we don't know the value of the k. We need to find out what is the value of the k so that we can give the formula and express t in terms of L. Okay? I'll just erase some of this because I need space later on. Okay. So, I have now 6. Okay. I have now 6 is equivalent to k times 3 or 3k. Okay. So 6 is equivalent now to 3k. And if you want to find out the k, then you have to divide both sides by 3, which gives you an answer that k is equivalent to 2. And then you just replace the value of the k here. T is equivalent now to k is to the square root of the L. So it will be 2 square root of L. Okay, next, letter B. Find T when L is equivalent to 2.25. You know already from question letter A, or the letter A, or the first question, that T is equivalent to 2 square root of L. Thus, I am just going to change the L with 2.25. So T is equivalent now to 2 times square root of 2.25. And square root of 2.25 is, I think it's 15 or 1.5. So T is equivalent now to 2 times 1.5. Okay. Is it 1.5 or 0.15? Okay. It's 1.5. Okay. Next. So since T is equivalent now to, let's see, square root of 2.25 is equivalent to 1.5. Yes, it is 1.5. Okay. Therefore, T is equivalent now to 2 times 1.5 means T is equal to 3. Okay. So I have now the value is 3. As simple as that. So you just need to memorize, okay, directly. Directly means y is equal to kx. Inversely means y is equal to k divided by x. Okay? So just these two things that you need to remember, then you will come up with the answers. Okay? Let's go back to our Okay, let's go back to our next question, or let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation and let's go to the next question. Question number 2. I thought the live stream was removed. Okay. Number 2, the wavelength W of a radio signal is inversely proportional to its frequency f. When f is equivalent to 200, W is equivalent to 1500. So I'll be using now the inversely. Okay, so it means for inversely, whatever is the first variable, okay, is equivalent to k divided by whatever is the second variable. Okay, but in here it says the wavelength W of a radio is inversely proportional. So W is inversely proportional, so k divided by what? Its frequency. So it's just basically k over f. Okay, or 1 over f, sorry, it's just a symbol. Okay, thus W is equivalent to k divided by f. Okay, and when you say W is equivalent to k divided by f, okay, you will just change the values of W and f so that you can find the value of the k. W is 1500 is equivalent to k divided by the f is 200. Okay, so the value of the k now, okay, is equivalent to, I have 4 zeros, okay, then 30. So it is 300,000. Thus, the equation that will connect f and W is W is equivalent to 300,000 times the, or divided by f, because I am basically changing this equation. I'm just changing the variable k after finding the value of k, because 200 times 1500 is 300,000. Okay, since the k is already 300,000, I want to change that k with 300,000. Then the equation that will connect them is w is equal to 300,000 divided by f. You can write also this equation as wf is equal to 300,000. Okay, now if you want to find the value of f when w is equal to 600, I will just change the w to 600. Okay, is equivalent now to 300,000 divided by f. So it will become 600f is equal to 300,000. Thus, f is equivalent to 300,000 divided by 600. Remove the two zeros. It will become 30 divided by 6 means 5. So f is equal to 500. So f is equal to 500. Here w is equal to k. Oh, sorry. Should be 300,000 divided by 300,000 divided by f. Okay, next let's go to number 3. It will be a fast revision this time. The volume of a solid varies directly as the cube of its length. Okay, when the length is 3 centimeter, the volume is 108 centimeter cube. So we'll be using again direct proportion. Okay, so it means volume, let's say V, varies directly as the cube of its length. So you take note of the word cube. Cube means you cube the length, so it will be L cube. Thus V is equivalent to K L cube. Okay, cube is different from cube root. Okay, again, cube is different from cube root, so you will just cube. So V, when the length is 3 centimeter, the volume is 108 centimeter cube. So volume is 108 centimeter cube, or let's not write anymore the unit. Okay, so 108 is equivalent to K, which we don't know. We want to find out what is that. Okay, times the L, which is 3, then you cube it. Okay, now you will come up with 108 is equal to 27k. I want to divide both sides by 27 to find out what is the value of the k. K now is equivalent to 108 divided by 27. 108 divided by 27. Okay, I'll have 4. So k is equal to 4. Now I'll replace whatever is the value of the k there. V is equal to 4L cube. Okay, so V is equal to 4L cube. You have this one already. Thus, okay, mega shout out Eldrin Bernardino. Thank you for coming. Okay, so since the volume is equivalent to 4L cube now, I am just going to change, okay, the length is 5 cm, so that I can find the volume. I will just change the length to 5. So V is equal now to 4 times 3, don't forget the cube. 3 cube is 27. So volume is equivalent now to, or sorry, it should be 5. It should not be a 3. I'm thinking of the 3 a while ago. Okay, it should be 5. 5 cube is 125. So 4 times 125. 4 times 125 is equivalent to, okay, I'll just multiply this to 125. I have now 500. So the volume, okay, when the length is 5 centimeter, is equivalent to 500. There. That's how easy that proportion is. So if it varies directly, then it will just be the variable is equal to k times the second variable. But in here, there is a word cube. So you have to cube the length. And length, I represent the length with the letter L. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. W varies inversely as the square root of x. So take note, it varies inversely. And it says square root of x. Okay, so it means W varies inversely. So there's a fraction 1 over square root of x. Okay. Hello, Ripatul Bari. Thank you for coming. Okay, so I have now, nag-shout out Ripatul. By the way, Ripatul Bari is one of our A stars in mathematics. And he got an A in additional mathematics. Or one of our A stars in additional mathematics, but got an A in mathematics. It's the other way around. Okay. So W is inversely proportional to square root of x, so it will become W is equal to k divided by square root of x. Okay, so it means I need to change again the value of the W and the x using this, so that I can find the W when x is equal to 25. I'll just basically change that x with 4, the W with 4 also. So 4 is equal to k divided by square root of 4. Okay, then try to find out what is the value of the k first. Okay, so it will become 4 is equal now to k divided by 2. So it means 2 times 4 is 8. So the value of the k now is 8. If the value of the k is 8, then it will become W equals 8 over square root of x. But we know that x is equal to 25. We want to look for the value of, I'll just write x first. So W is equal to 8 divided by square root of 25. And since you know that the square root of 25 is 5, W is 8 over 5. Okay, it might be 8 over 5, or it can be 1 and 3 over 5. It can also be, what is 8 divided by 5 in fraction? It is 1.6, or in decimal, it is 1.6. So it can be 8 over 5, it can be 8 over 5, or it can be 1 and 3 over 5, or it can be 1.6. Those are the possible answers that you can write over here. Okay, next question. Let's go to question number 5. Y is inversely proportional to x squared. Okay, Y is inversely proportional, again inversely, so I'll have a fraction, okay, to x squared, so 1 over x squared. Now since y is inversely proportional as to x squared, then y is equivalent to k over x squared. Okay? You know that when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3. It's written over here. So when y is equal to 3, x is equal to 4. Then you put the square. Don't forget that. Okay? 4 squared is 16. 16 times 3. So k is equal now to 16 times 3. And 16 times 3 is equivalent to 48. So the value of the k is 48. Thus, y is equivalent now to 48 divided by x squared. If this is the equation or the formula that connects y and x, we can already find the value of the y when x is equal to 5. So it will just be y is equal to 48 divided by 5 squared. And 5 squared is equivalent to 25, so it will become 48 over 25. If it is 48 over 25, I can write my answers as 48 over 25. I can also write my answer as, okay, it can be 1 and 23 over 25. So 48 over 25, or 1 and 23 over 25, or it can also be written as in decimal 1.92. Okay, so these are the possible answers that you can have. Okay, I'll be last two questions for this, then we're done with our revision on ratio and proportion. So those who are not able to catch up with the first questions a while ago, you can browse again this video and watch it again. Okay, so let's move on to question number 6. The force F between two magnets varies inversely as the square of the distance between them. Okay, so the force F, okay, varies inversely, again inversely, as the square of the distance. So square of the distance is d squared. Okay, inversely, so it will be 1 over d squared. Next, so F is equivalent now to K divided by D squared. I've given 7 questions because I want you to master each lesson. So every now and then, I'll be giving more than 5 questions in each topic. Okay, so as I've told you, every 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll be doing, or 4 o'clock and beyond, because I might schedule myself at around late 6-7 p.m. Okay, so those who wants to learn more about mathematics and additional mathematics, weekdays I'll be doing live revision with mathematics, and at weekends I'll be doing live revision in additional mathematics. But additional mathematics will be longer than mathematics. Okay, so 5 p.m. Weekends I'll be doing it at 1 p.m. Okay, so F is 150 equals K divided by 2 squared. Okay, 2 squared is 4, so therefore it will become 150 is equal now to K divided by 4. And 4 times 150 is 600. Okay, so K is 600, thus F is equal now to 600 divided by D squared. So this is now the formula that connects F and D. Thus, okay, if we want to find out the value of F if D is equal to 4, we will just change the D. So F is equal now to 600 divided by 4 squared. So F is equal now to 600 divided by 16. Okay, let's just simplify. What is 600 divided by 16? It is 75 over 2. So f can be written as 75 over 2, or it can also be written as 37 and 1 half, or 37.5, or 37 and 1 half. Okay, so those are the possible ways on how you can write your answer for this. Okay, let's move on to the last question. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 7 questions for this. The length y of a solid is inversely proportional to the square of its height. So it's almost the same as question number 6. Okay, so it will be y is inversely. So I'll go directly. I'll write y is equal to k divided by x squared. So it means if x is equal to 5, okay, y is equal to 4.8. So 4.8 is equal to k divided by 5 squared. Okay, 5 squared is 25. 25 times 4.8, k is equivalent to, okay, let's calculate. 25 times 4.8, I'll have now 120. Okay, how do I show that it becomes like this? Okay, I want to change the k to 120, so it will become y is equal to 120 divided by x squared. Then I'll just multiply x squared, then y is equal to 120. Shown. Okay, so I was able to show question letter A. Okay, next, find y when x is equal to 2. So since x is equal to 2, okay, in this formula y is equal to 120 over x squared. If x is equal to 2, it will become 120 divided by 2 squared, and 2 squared is 4. 120 divided by 4 is equivalent to 30. Done. Next, let's move on to letter C. Find x. So find x when y is equal to 10. So it will just become x squared is equal to 120 divided by y. X squared is equal now to 120 divided by 10. And 120 divided by 10 is 12. Okay, so x squared is equal now to 12. But you have to find out what is the value of the x. It is not x squared. So I have x is equal to positive negative square root of 12. Okay, to simplify that, it will become positive negative 2 square root of 3. Okay, so these are the answers for question number letter C. This is letter C. This is letter B. Okay. Next, letter D. Find x when y is equal to x. Okay, let's just try to erase everything. You just go back later on. Okay. A while ago, we have the equation x squared y is equal to 120. If x squared y is equal to 120, then we need to find out the value of the x, right? If y is equal to x, then x squared, y can become x because y is equal to x. Is equal now to 120. Then x cubed is equal now to 120. Thus, the value of the x is equal to cube root of 120. And cube root of 120 can just be written as cube root of 120. Or if you want, I can write it in decimal form. Cube root of 120, okay, is 4.93. Just write in 3 significant figures. Okay, next, letter E. Describe exactly what happens to y when x is doubled. Okay, so let's go to letter E. How are we going to describe exactly what happens to y when x is doubled? So you just basically double the value of the x. Okay, so it will become 2x squared. Okay, then y is equal to 120. So it means it will become x squared times 4, y is equal to 120. Y is equivalent now to 120 divided by 4x squared. Y is equal now to 120 divided by 4. 120 divided by 4 is equivalent to 30 divided by x squared. Okay, remember originally y is equivalent to 120 divided by x squared. Okay, compare these two, 120 and 30. Okay, it becomes a quarter of the value of the original value of the y. Okay, so you can describe what happens to y when x is doubled by saying, okay, the value of the y becomes 1/4 of the original value of its original value. Okay, so that's letter E. I repeat, the value of the y becomes 1/4 of the original value of the y. Okay, next, let's move on to letter F, or I'll write this. Oh, sorry, it becomes 1/4 of the original value. It becomes 1/4 of the original value. Okay, next, describes exactly what happens to x when y is decreased by 36. Okay, it is decreased by 36, so it will become x squared. I'll erase the other things. I don't have working space, that's why I am erasing. Okay, so I have x squared. Okay, I am going to decrease this y with 36%. So it means it is 1 minus 36, 1 minus 36, or 0.36 is 0.64 y. Okay, is equal now to 120. Okay, x now squared is equivalent to 120 divided by 0.64 y. Okay, originally the value of x is equivalent to square root of 120 over y. That's the original value of the x. Okay, let's try to divide 120 divided by 0.64. That will become 187.5. Okay, 187.5 divided by y is equal to x squared. So x will now become square root of 187.5 divided by y. Okay, you try to compare, okay, and try to change the value of the y. Let's try to change the value of the y here. Okay, let's try to change it with 1. Okay, 120 divided by 1. The value is 2 square root of 30. Okay, let's try to put in square root of 187.5 divided by 1. It becomes 5 square root of 30 divided by 2. So you try to compare. Okay, so it becomes, okay, 5 over 2 means from 5 over 2 to from 2 to 5 over 2, what did I multiply? So I'll just basically divide 5 over 2, okay, divided by 2. I multiplied 5 over 4. Yeah, it is 5 over 4. So it becomes 5 over 4 of the original value. Okay, I covered the answer. It becomes 5 over 4 of the original value, because if you notice, it is from 2 square root of 30. When I change, the original is x is equal to square root of 120 over y. This one. X is equal to square root of 120 over y. And then I have x is equivalent to square root of 187.5 divided by y. Okay? When I change the value of the y to a number, let's say 1, it becomes 2 square root of 30. Okay? And when I change the value of the y to 1 also here, it becomes 5 square root of 30 over 2. When I try to compare, okay, what happened to the value is that I multiplied that 2 with 5 over 4 so that I can come up with 5 over 2. That's why I said it becomes 5 over 4 of the original value. Okay, next. Make x the subject of the formula in this. So for this one, it will just become x squared is equal to 120 divided by y. And x is equivalent to square root of 120 over y. It can be positive, negative. Okay, so there. So that's all for today for our revision. Thank you for coming and watching. For those who are always supporting our live stream. Okay. For my students who wants to revise more on this topic, just please scan again and watch again this video to find out, because some of you are busy and you are on vacation. Okay. Thank you for coming. In advance, for those students who are not able to watch and you are watching, again, please, thank you for watching. Okay? Anyway, these are all for you guys. Okay?